Welcome to the Insane Gorillas podcast. Today we're talking about the movie Shazam, the one with Zachary Levi, not the other one, not the one with I think Sinbad. We're not talking about that one. Um,
Yeah.
we're talking about the one with Zachary Levi as Shazam. Um, and real quick, let's just go ahead and knock off all the other stuff that I need to get through. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. This will be premiering, and also I want to say Happy St. Patrick's Day because that's when this is coming out. I have green on.
Nice.
Austin doesn't, and we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day by watching a movie that's a Christmas movie.
Uh.
That's
Oh
that's
wait.
sort of a Christmas movie, anyways. Um, okay, he's trying to find something green. Uh, Thanks for
All right,
watching.
there we go.
Try to make it all the way
This
through.
this is gonna stay on.
Let's go ahead and get into. That doesn't look green really. That looks kind of yellow, but I guess
What?
it can count.
Oh
Here,
wait. Let me
let me change the
let me
lights.
put it under
We're going
here.
green, baby.
Fuck. I gotta put it somewhere where it's gonna be like shaded, so it looks a little bit more green. There we go. Fuck. Um.
Okay.
Just right there. Right. Fuck. Okay. Well, I guess
It's not
guess
working. It's
guess
not
you can
working.
pinch me. Look. If you guys can find me, you can pinch me. Okay. That's the deal, though.
Hey, it's gonna be harder to find you than Ty. Ty does all his recordings from a parking lot, so
Right. Yeah. But where is Ty today? So
that is a question.
right off the
So, but
right off the bat with this movie, DC movie. I see DC movies, when I hear DC, first thing that comes to mind, uh, Man of Steel. I completely enjoyed. Oh my God, Discord's not responding. Okay.
I can hear you, so you're fine.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, fucking Discord said not responding. I was just did you hear everything?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, DC. I immediately think of okay, cool. Man of Steel. Man of Steel, good movie. Henry Cavill, awesome. Just a fucking hunk, right? Anyways, um, so I'm like, okay, Man of Steel. I don't really think of too many other movies, right? I just that's literally the first one that comes to mind. Is Man of Steel. It was a really good one. But for the rest of the DC movies, kind of subpar. I haven't seen Aquaman, so I can't really say for certain whether DC movies are just like all bad. But I've seen parts of Justice League and just some parts of the movie, and like uh what was it? Superman v Batman or Batman v Superman, whichever way it is, the title, whichever the way it is. That one was okay, but first thing that comes to mind, a good DC movie, Man of Steel, just first thing. And then and I was pretty hesitant when I came to Shazam. I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the first time watching a movie, so obviously when I watch a new movie, I'm gonna obviously enjoy it because it gives me something to do, right? And I was sitting there, but I was like, as I'm reviewing this movie, I'm gonna have to try and nitpick some of the stuff that I don't like about it, right? I like the cast. The cast is really nice. I can't remember. Do you know who plays the bad guy? Like the actor's name?
I have a list up here actually because I tend to forget names. I've
Yeah,
Mark Strong plays Doctor
yeah.
Sivana.
So like Mark Strong. I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, I know this actor. He's from like the what's the there's like a. Do you know the one movie where it's like British like spy agents or
Kingsman.
whatever? Kingsman. Yep, exactly. He was from
He's
Kingsman. I was
Merlin.
sitting there. I'm like, yeah, he was Merlin. He played a really good character in that. A really good guy. You can
Take me
relate to him.
home.
Oh, yeah, no. I've been every time I'm outside my room, I'm just take me home. No, but what's it called? Seeing him and then seeing him play a bad guy role, he makes just the look of him. He's a pretty convincing bad guy. So I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome. So that's cool that Merlin's like could just quick switch and not have any troubles becoming a bad guy. Obviously, the movie's like also somewhat comedic, so he does a little. I think he did like maybe one or two things that were a little bit like funny, but pretty straight throughout though. Played a pretty convincing bad guy. Um, then you have who's the who's Shazam,
Zachary
the older
Levi.
actor. Yeah,
Zachary
Zachary
Levi.
Levi. Mm. Yeah, he played a pretty good Shazam. He also did really good with the bringing out the inner kid in him. Having those scenes where he was like playing games and stuff, and I can't remember what he said. But like pretty much like get pwned or whatever. Oh,
I like the strip club scene. He's like,
oh
he
yeah, yeah,
walks
yeah.
in 5 minutes later. He's like, I need more money.
I need more money. Yeah, yeah. I love the what's it called? But yeah, just like him portraying, that he still got like the mind of a I think it's what's it? I think Billy, his the character he's playing Billy's
Billy
like
Batson.
13 or 14, I think. Might maybe 15. But I think it does go a little bit over on like the like making the shoot, how do I say this? It I think it goes over a little bit on like the teenage likes and stuff, right? Like what like teenagers like, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
it's
flossing.
like oh they yeah, they're
That's
like
that's
yeah, the
already
flossing.
dated. That's the thing about it is because they make that joke. It's already really dated, and that scene is just cringy.
Yeah, I remember seeing that scene. I was like, wow, okay. I'm like, all right. For throughout the movie, it was pretty like pretty up there, and I saw that and just moved it down
Yeah.
a little bit. I was sitting there just like, okay, that's a little yoy. Um, but I feel like all the actors gave a very good effort in their roles, including the kid actor of Shazam. He did pretty good, showing off just being like a teenager looking for his family and all that stuff. And he just really wants to find his family. Oh, when that scene came up where he like found his mom,
Yeah.
but then you learn what happens. I was sitting there just like I'm like, oh fuck. No, I it was funny because I was watching it with my girlfriend, right? And I was sitting there. And when we were getting a flashback to that scene, I was sitting there. I'm like, the mom couldn't give him a good life, but knew that the cops could. So she probably was just like, nah, cause no good, no mom would be like, walking with your kid in the what was that, like a state or like a state park or
It's like a
whatever,
carnival.
like a carnival, yeah, fairground, whatever. Walking and then, loses their kid and doesn't like immediately notice because, I feel like parents are just like they have that like sixth sense. They're like on high alert all the time whenever they're around their kids, right? But yeah, when it came to that scene, I was sitting there. That hit me. I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, okay, we were down here, but you showed me some traumatic as like backstory. That's just so sad. It's back up here now. Let's keep going. Let's keep it up here.
Well, it really pushes the theme of
And
the movie is that when he's searching for this family that he's always thought would take him, but the
mm,
family that he has currently is the one that actually takes him. So what he has
right.
is what's really what he's looking for. So,
Mm,
real quick, I do want to tell you the story of the first time I watched this because it's pretty funny. Um,
okay.
so, uh, on prom night of my senior year, I couldn't afford to go to prom, but instead I went to go see Shazam because Shazam was in theaters, and I was like, okay, I'll make that kind of my prom night. I went alone,
Right.
but I had someone I knew in high school turn into like a rapper. Um, you might know him, Samuel
Uh,
McDaniel. I would play his music on the
Samuel
radios.
McDaniel.
I would play his music on the school radio, and
Really?
when I was the only person that did that though, so
Right.
probably had him on a
Mm,
couple of our automated playlists. But I sat right next to him in the theater, and it was not even in Greenfield. It was like somewhere up in northern Indiana.
The AMC theater.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't there either. No, it was much farther. It's just I just so happened to sit right next to the person I play their his songs on the radio.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. But that's how I
Nah,
spent my
you got the.
that's how I spent my my night, my prom night. So
That's that's awesome. I would have also had done that, but like for like a really good movie, a good movie that I was expecting. Uh, Matt, you got the bleep out the Greenfield. Now I got to
nah,
do it again.
nah. It's already
Nah.
on my Twitter and everything. Plus,
Oh,
that's if we start a PO box, it's gonna be in Greenfield. So
right. Anyway, yeah,
yeah, it's
fair.
they don't know where. I don't give them my address.
I don't give them my address.
I don't give
They'll have to knock on every door.
the first one they go to is just
Uh,
happens to be mine.
right. And you're sitting there like, well, fuck me.
Should have tried harder.
But you know, just I was sitting there, you know, and this is actually a really good DC movie. I thought you know, the plot's good. It moves pretty fast, a little bit faster than I'd like it to move, to be honest. But you know, it moves. I would rather I would rather them do that than them try and move it as, you know, move it slow, like a slow building plot. And because, you know, there's a lot of directors just like, oh, people like slower moving plots, but those directors just haven't done it before. You know, they don't have enough experience, or, you know, every time they've done it, it just doesn't work. So, you know, I appreciate them not, you know, trying to go for that, right? Like I feel that the plot moves pretty fast. You know, it's got a lot of giddy up to it. You know, it's just
The pacing of
um
it's really good. Another
yeah.
thing I thought about this movie was it really felt like you were watching a comic book, and it's really different from the usual DC storylines because they all tend to be like really dark, like Batman's storyline. This one's pretty
Yeah.
lighthearted, which is
Yeah.
different.
No. Right.
So
I think that's why I might have liked it a little bit more
yeah,
too. You know, it's a little bit different. Yeah, every time I've seen like a DC movie, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, here we go. Let's see what's going on. And then I watch it and I'm just like, okay, that wasn't, you know, bad. You know, the only one that I really liked was like Man of Steel, and then I'm just like, yeah, that was a good one. You got that had a really good actor, he gave a really great performance, and then, you know, plot was good. You know, it's fucking Superman, right? Everybody loves Superman. And then, you know, Justice League came out. I was sitting there just like, I'm not even gonna bother Batman versus Superman. I had to watch it, right? Because Batman versus Superman is, everybody's got to see that, right?
have you not
But
seen Wonder Woman?
I have not seen Wonder Woman. No,
That one's also pretty good.
that one's a good one.
it's still a little dark, but I think Shazam is
Mm.
the lighter. Like it's the one more kid friendly, except maybe Aquaman.
Mm.
Aquaman seems kind of that way too. But I
Yeah.
think I'd prefer Shazam to
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I remember watching in it's lighthearted with, you know, some comedy aspects, but then there's that one scene where they're like in the doctor, I'll just call him doctor. The doctor walks into the boardroom, boardroom of executives, and then just releases six of them or whatever,
The
and just
seven deadly
literally,
sins.
yeah, and literally just oh my god. That one guy got his head bit off and then thrown out the window. Oh, also he threw his brother out the window, so they were just like, fuck.
And then
I was like, okay.
he leaves
I was
Greed to kill his dad.
Yeah. I was sitting there just like, goodness gracious. And then yeah, he's in the elevator. Family. Fucking breaks the screen. Fuck that, bro.
I like the
Yeah.
secretary in that scene also. I think he gives a good performance where
Oh,
he's just like, what the fuck's going on?
and then he just starts screaming and running away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like what the yeah, no. I was sitting there. If I was that secretary and I heard like a window break or something, like, you know, the brother gets thrown through the window, dude, I would have been in that elevator already. I'm like those windows are they're built not to be, broke. So you have like, you can't punch it and it'll break. You can't. I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't know this because I don't know the statistics on it, but I'm pretty sure you can't like run into a window and it wouldn't break. I mean, maybe if you're a little bit on the heavier side, maybe it might give just a little bit, but I don't think it would break all the way that you just fly through it. So you have to put a considerable amount of force on that window for it to break. And if there's something in there that applies that considerable amount of force, I am out of there. I am in the elevator spamming the fucking down button. I'm like, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. This is, I'm like, fuck that.
Especially on those skyscraper windows, which is they're probably like on a 100th story or like maybe a 80th story, somewhere in between there. And usually they
Mhm.
tend to have thicker glass when the higher up you go, because they don't want
Yeah,
you to accidentally fall out, or just by like touching the glass or like pushing on the glass a little bit. They don't want you to just fall out,
right.
so they tend to have thicker glass. And
Yeah,
when he pushes it, like throws him
right. They
out,
don't want you
it's
to trip.
yeah, they don't want you to trip and
Yeah,
accidentally fall out the window. That would be bad. But when he throws it,
that would be bad on the company or whoever made the building.
I think that scene also
Mm.
adds a lot to his character and tries to make him more evil than what he
Oh,
seems,
yeah,
because throughout the rest of the movie, he doesn't seem super evil. Like that scene in particular
right.
kind of makes him feel like, yeah, this guy's not to be messed with. Uh, but overall,
Hmm.
he's kind of like Kylo Ren. He's got some daddy issues.
Right. I know exactly. Uh, do you know what's up with the little end credit scene with the fucking I think it's
The
like a
caterpillar?
caterpillar.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know who? Yeah.
That's
Am I
not
supposed to know who that is? Because I have no idea.
the caterpillar at the end is a Marvel Comics thing. I know you can play I know you can play as it in the Lego games for some reason. I don't know why, because
Really?
it's not really a good hint for what's
Hmm.
next. The next one is going to be about Black Adam, and there was supposed to be another post-credit scene. I don't know if it's actually in the movie because I accidentally skipped it. I didn't want to try going and finding it later. But it's where all six of the kids, all of the adopted kids who are now like sharing the power of Shazam, all sit in those thrones, and then one's missing,
Hmm.
and that one is Black Adam, who's going to be in the second
Hmm.
movie. Do you know who's playing Black Adam?
No, I don't.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
No.
It's true. He's already signed up for it. I think it's called, the working
Well.
title right now is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. It looks like
Mm.
Superman might be in it, so you'll get your wish.
Which Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah, not the TV show one, not the TV show one. That's a different universe
Good.
technically. So
Mm.
yeah,
And the Justice League, then did they have Henry Cavill or I
yeah,
don't think they did. Did they? Did
they
they?
had Henry
Oh,
Cavill. In some
and the
scenes,
just
in some they had to put his face
here we
over
go.
it.
Yeah.
I think he had a beard or something, or he had some sort of problem on set where he couldn't act all of his scenes. So they did like a weird facial
Mm,
reconstruction and put it over
mm,
his. I think it was because he
mm.
had a beard, but I might be
Right.
wrong in that, because it's definitely the mouth is where all the problems look. Like it just looks too fake and gross.
Yeah, no, I that's what I noticed about us, and they're just like, okay, that looks a little bit weird. Did Henry Cavill just not want to like be in this one? No,
Uh,
I was yeah, that's good. I didn't know that Henry Cavill was actually in the Justice League. Out the
he's not in the
look
movie
at that
that
again.
long either, so it's more about the other characters than it is about Superman. It's
It
just
really is
they're all too
right,
weak to fight the to fight the
right compared to Superman.
yeah. Which brings me on
Yeah.
to another subject is in the movie they reference the Superman bullet, and how this bullet hits Superman, and it shows that he's bulletproof and everything, and they drop that down the drain. Why did
Yeah.
it? And then they kind of repeat that scene like where like a bullet hits Shazam and he's bulletproof, and it hits the ground, and then it's like, oh, you're dead. Um, why didn't the kid pick up the bullets? you could sell them or you could keep them for memorabilia. You
Right.
could do anything with it. Um, especially, but that's just me being picky, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
I know they didn't show it, but I think we were supposed to like infer that he was probably because he was recording it. He's like, hey, this is like a documentary of Shazam, and we're gonna here's they're just like oh here you go, shoot me again, and they start shooting him again, and all the bullets are dropping off and stuff.
yeah, it tickles, is what he says.
And they're like, wait, is the suit bulletproof or am I bulletproof? Shoot him in the face. Yeah, shoot me in the face. I was
Yeah,
sitting there just when he was getting shot in the face,
the red little
those effects
indents and
on his
stuff.
face, those
Yeah,
visual effects.
they're
Yeah,
really good.
that was really nice. Like it was like you could see like actually
The
touching his face,
indents
and
and
then
stuff. Yeah,
hmm yeah, no, it was really good watching that. And then I'm like, okay, that's actually really good, like not bad.
yeah. What I really like from this movie is that Zachary Levi does a really good job at making himself feel like a kid. So like the first thing they do
Mm,
is everything adults can do, and then they end
right.
up buying
Yeah.
beer because they,
Yeah, and then
they
they
scare the
try
woman
it,
into they scare that one woman into giving
giving
giving them all the money.
$73.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they go and buy beer, which is I think
yeah,
what a lot of kids would think. And then
would do, right.
yeah, and then
What, especially when I am the fake ID.
yeah,
I love the girl working at the convenience store too. She's just like, because he comes in like, I need some of your finest liquor. I'm like, bro.
and then I like the kid how the kid let me look up the character's name. It's
Mm.
Captain. I think his name's like Captain something. I can't see it. I don't know. It's the sidekick basically, the one with the problem with his
Yeah, you're
leg.
talking about Freddy. Hmm.
Yeah. He his reaction to looking at the girl after he's like Shazam says that line where it's like we would like some of your finest liquor, and
Yeah, he's like
he's like looking at
just
her for
standing.
a little bit, like staring at her, and then he's just like hobbles away, like
Yeah.
judgmental.
Mm. I like Freddy's character. That provided quite a bit of the comic relief, but there was there's like one thing that was okay. I was like, okay, this is funny, and it was coming up with a name for Shazam, and it was so bad. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, this joke has been beaten into the ground. Please stop. They're like Captain Sparkles, Captain or Thundercrack. I sound like a butt crack, dude. I'm sitting there, I'm like, please stop with these stupid ass names. I was sitting there, I'm like, at first it was funny, but please.
Not once do they actually kind of say that his name is technically Shazam.
Right.
Not once. They just say it like at the end when they're all holding onto the stick and they say Shazam together.
Shazam.
That's the only time you actually hear
Mm.
anyone say
Call
Shazam
him.
other than
Mm.
uh, the the main character like Zachary Levi and the Asher Angel. They're both called Shazam technically in the credits. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's the only time you actually hear anyone say Shazam, except for maybe the wizard. The wizard says it, and the some of the demons or the seven deadly sins they say that also. I don't
Mm.
know if the doctor's Sivana says it.
Shabana says it. No, he says like the chosen one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But he obviously wants him. He wants to, have him grab the staff, and so that, you know, uh, the doctor would have said Shazam, right? And then, only if Billy had opened his heart to him, I think he would have got the power. I feel like it would have been funny if doctor's like holding the staff forcefully, right? And Shazam comes up and he grabs the staff, and then the doctor says Shazam, but nothing happens. And he's like, "Why is it not working?" And then you fucking, Billy's like, "Cause you're not worthy." He just fucking like uppercuts him or something, then goes over to his friends. That would have been
it's a
cool,
Mortal
but
Kombat kill. Straight up punches through his stomach.
right. But I understand why they didn't do that. I was sitting there, I was like, I was waiting for like just it was just to be a constant 1v1 with the doctor and Billy. But then fucking Billy grabs the staff and just like everybody grab it. Say my name, Billy.
Not that
No,
one.
my what? Yeah, and they're all like Shazam, and then they all turn into like fucking, you know, they have the power of Shazam with them or whatever I don't know what the power of it's called, but
It's
uh
the power of it's like I know one is the power of Zeus, which is the Z. Z
oh
stands for
yeah
the
yeah
power of Zeus. I
mm,
don't know exactly how. I know speed of Mercury, or yeah,
yeah
speed of Mercury.
some like that.
Power of Zeus, so Z and M, and then it goes into all the other powers.
Yeah, yeah, I remember him talking about that at the guy, the older wizard,
Yeah,
passing on his power to Billy. And it was funny because I was sitting there with my girlfriend watching it, and fucking, I was sitting there, and we're just, we're just sitting there vibing, and then Billy defends his foster brother. So now I'm like, now he's gonna get the power of
now he's
Shazam,
technically
because
pure of
he did
heart,
that little action.
even
Right,
though he's
and
been.
soon as he got on the subway, I'm like, watch, all these people right here about to disappear. The whole thing's gonna get frozen. He's gonna be brought there, and he's gonna get given the power of Shazam.
Yeah.
And then it happened. I was in there like, what did I say?
What is it? There's another running theme is that is it who's the kid? The kid that's not that the one with the leg problem. His name is Jimmy or
Freddie.
Freddy. Freddy.
Hmm.
Freddy keeps on saying that. Why does every hero? Why does everyone say if they had a superpower they would choose flight? Because heroes fly, and then at the end when they say Shazam, he just so happens to get flight as his power.
Yeah, immediately.
Now,
Hmm.
real quick, just like it's gonna be off topic, which superpower would you choose? I know mine straight
Okay.
off the bat, so I'm gonna say mine. It's speed. I feel like
Uh-huh.
speed would be great. I could do all these things personal things like
Hmm.
clean my room, and do all these things, and then also be able to run like across the world real quick, and then be able to save someone if I had to. Now, which
Right.
one would
No,
yours be?
this super speed would be pretty cool. You would be you go across the world and stuff, and all that good stuff. You go there. Super. I would probably do super speed because I would go across the world to go try like different like foods. Right. That's what I would do. That'd be so cool. Just because I'm sitting here. I'm like, yeah, I've had Chinese food, but I've only had Chinese food in America.
Yeah, Pan
I
American.
feel like it would be. I feel like it would be badass to like just run across the world real quick and get some like some dumplings or something from like an actual Chinese restaurant. That'd be so cool. But if I had to
Ask.
choose, I have a
Imagine
do it.
asking your coworkers during lunchtime, "Would you like French today or or
Yeah,
Chinese?"
you're sitting there. Would you like French or Chinese today? And then I just go to the bathroom. Just say it. Just run out of there. No, fucking. If I had to choose, obvious, I feel like this one's like pretty obvious. Everybody's probably gonna go for this one. This one's like that. You're like, oh, he's a basic bitch. Go for super strength. I feel like that would be pretty cool. I would like to be like fucking like Superman or like Spider-Man. Not really Spider-Man. Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. He like stopped the train with his webs. But be like Superman, like get behind the trainer, like hold the trainer. Like when Billy catches the bus or something.
Yeah,
Sure, I wouldn't be fast, right? To like because Billy, fucking, he did his thing, right? He was just in there like lightning hands and actually like struck a bus or whatever. And then if obviously I would want to be like Billy and have all of them, right? But if I had to choose one, I'd probably want strength. I just wouldn't be I don't know if I'm pretty sure you get the lightning hands as a plus too though, right? Like you not only your the one ability that you have, like you have your super strength, but you also get like the lightning hands, because I'm pretty sure I saw like some of them in there, like they're pretty sure all those people that turn into Shazam, they don't all have just one ability, do they?
they all have one ability, except for Black Adam has multiple abilities. He's basically the equivalent to Shazam.
Right. Okay.
But he's been on the team for like ever. He's been like a lone wolf the whole time. But Billy is the only one who can control all of them. He's
Right.
technically
Gotcha.
he's sharing his own power with them.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
they either got the strength of Zeus or the speed of
Yeah. Right.
Mercury, because that's
Mm.
6 letters, and then you take that out, and then you got the
Gotcha.
six of them.
That makes sense. No, I was sitting there, and I would choose strength. I would just have to make sure that whatever's going on, I'm there. Because if I'm not there, I'm not gonna be fast enough, right? Yeah, I could maybe like do like the original Hulk thing and like just like hop in the air and I just fly for fucking ever, right?
Yeah. Hey, down in the comments, go ahead and share what power you would choose. Like out of
Yeah,
anything, you can even
that's just pretty
choose.
interesting.
You can even choose something that's not even mentioned in Shazam. It's just interesting to know what kind of power you would want, and
What kind of
tell us
superpower
why.
you want?
Tell us why
Mm.
you would want that power. The so let's get back on the topic of the movie.
Back on back on Shazam.
Back on Shazam. Did you realize? I don't know if I caught it the first time watching this movie, but I've seen this movie multiple times since, probably 4 or 5 times.
Mm.
So at the beginning, when Billy gets lost at that carnival, do you realize that that's the same carnival they
Yeah.
are at the end? It's the same Christmas
Oh.
carnival.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if everyone would have caught
Mm.
that. And when they do that final fight where like they're all a family, kind of together fighting
Hmm.
all these things. It's just I
You
think
know,
it's a really well put.
some good symbolism.
It's a really well put together. Like it adds to the theme and just the
Hmm.
story in general, because it's like a
Yeah.
callback. But I don't think
Right.
they show the
No.
carnival and like at the beginning enough to make people kind of realize what it is. So
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, no, the whole and some people might not have caught that because like the lighting and the yeah, it's all different. So you're sitting there like, oh, that was just a different place or whatever. But then I saw the same sign at the end. I was sitting there just like, oh, this is the same carnival. It's just darker out, and there's a different tone this time than there was back, and because the tone and the lighting of the scene can really just make it super different.
hmm
Yeah.
the original scene where they're all having fun with where he's Billy's having fun with his mom is all lighthearted. It's kind of like fun, and then it turns into like this dark thing where the mom kind of leaves, and then it comes back and they're fighting these dark creatures, but as a family, and at
Mhm.
night in this carnival lit up by all these colorful lights.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie it was actually really good. Costume design was good. Um, the pacing, the flow of the movie was really good. The uh the screenwriting was good. The only thing I would have to like critique about it would probably be some of the dialogue. The dialogue's a little bit I mean it's good cuz they're that I feel like the problem is that they're trying to do lighthearted and trying to do like they're just like, okay, now it's serious, right? And that's really hard to achieve. And they do a pretty decent job of it. So, the dialogue's a little bit spotty in my opinion, but it's funny. It's serious when it needs to be serious. Just it moves fast. Costumes look great. You see the costume of Shazam and you just immediately think of the comics and you're like, okay, let's look at this. Let's dive in a little deeper and it's like, yeah, this is a pretty accurate representation of the Shazam costume and stuff. And I was sitting there just like, I'm like, okay, this is actually really good. There's some uh scenes where you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, is he gonna be okay or whatever? Like, mostly the scene where Billy's like getting like drowned and he's saying Shazam underwater. Everybody's probably in the movie. There's like, just say Shazam out of the water. Just stop saying Shazam underwater. I thought for sure that the I think her name's Maddie. I think
The
so.
Which one, the
The
younger girl
foster
or
the
the
foster sister, not Darla, but the
Mary?
older Mary, my bad. Starts with them. Yeah, Mary like shoots a BB gun at the doctor, And I was sitting there. I thought for sure it was gonna hit him in the eye. And that was gonna be the end of the movie. I'm like, please don't do this. And then he catches it. I was sitting there, I'm like, he catches it with the other hand. And then the fucking kid's head's out of the water. Shazam! It fucking blows the doctor back flying through the air and shit. And so they're like, okay, that's pretty cool, right?
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, no, overall, a really, really good movie. The only problems I had was probably some of the dialogue. Some of the dialogue was a little eh. Also, the fucking ending was kind of cheesy. They're sitting there. Our Freddy comes in. He's in the lunch table. He sits down, and all the foster families sit with him. And then Shazam walks in. He's like, my good pal Freddy, and he's taught me everything that I know. And then he just fucking sits down with them. He's like, I also invited a friend, and then fucking you see a guy in the a
It's not
Superman
Henry
costume.
Cavill. It's not Henry
It
Cavill.
is it is not Henry Cavill. This that that
And the
that
insane thing
ruined
is,
it.
you can tell that it's not Henry Cavill just by seeing the shape of his body. That's insane.
Right.
That you can tell
Like,
Henry Cavill just from like how his body looks. You don't see the face. I
right.
don't
I
think.
was sitting there. No, you don't see the face. I was sitting there. I was sitting there. As soon as I saw that side shot of him walking, and I was sitting there. I'm like, bro, that is not my Henry Cavill. That is not Henry Cavill. Why,
This man doesn't have
why are
enough
you doing
beef.
this right now?
This
And then
man
he
doesn't
just
have
he just
enough
rolls up,
beef.
and he's got like the lunch table there, and it's just like a paid actor, whatever. They didn't want to shell out for Henry Cavill, and I was sitting there. I'm like, if you would have shelled out for Henry Cavill, man, if I would have seen Henry Cavill's body, Henry Cavill's face, man, I would have been like, I'm like, all right, this movie gets a 10 out of 10. But they're just like, we just gotta get a guy in a Superman costume. He's got walk in, and he's gonna look like Superman. I'm sitting there, and then you see the wide angle shot of the family, Shazam, and then
The
and
cafeteria
then
people.
the cafeteria people, and then you see fucking Superman just like
He just stands there.
you literally just see Superman just standing there like this. You're just like
Okay.
what the fuck? Like you couldn't shell for Henry Cavill, or at least somebody that's a little bit built, or a muscle bodysuit. You really couldn't have done
They
that.
could have even just put Henry Cavill's face on top of it, over the
Right.
body like they did for Justice League.
Right. They did that stupid ass thing for Justice League. Could have they could have done it there. It's the same studio, DC.
Hmm.
They I don't know. I was sitting there I'm just like, oh my gosh, why would they do that? Right? Like, why would they? I get it, because they mentioned it earlier. Like, oh, is the bullies like, oh, is Superman gonna bring you dessert too? And I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, whatever, and then it's coming up at the scene at the end where they're in lunch. I'm sitting there like, okay, so they're gonna do the thing where Shazam comes in, and then I'm sitting there and the scene's going still. I'm like, wait, I'm like, am I about to see Henry Cavill? And then as soon as I see Superman's body, I'm just like,
Not my Superman.
I'm like, get him out of here, bro. Dog water, get him out of here. That's so. That was a major letdown. But besides that, I mean, just a little bit spotty dialogue in my opinion. It's all around a good movie. My
Yeah.
my rating for this one's gonna be pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention was lighting. You were talking about lighting earlier with that. If you look
Mm,
closely, the only thing that's really red ever in one of the scenes is Shazam. He's like the most red, like, and there's a little bit of red in the background every once in a while, but usually it's just everything's blue. They use like a blue
right.
filter on the camera to give that like blue look, and then it contrasts the color of Shazam, where Shazam's this bright
Mm,
red with this yellow glowing light.
mm,
uh, I think that really makes the character look a little more super and more powerful and more magical, and really adds
mm,
to like the look of the character. But what really caught my attention was how this movie feels like people who enjoy the Shazam comic books wrote the movie, not like
right.
someone who doesn't enjoy comic books writing a movie just because they're told to, which is what happens with a lot of comic book movies, as
Right.
We've talked about this in other podcasts, but that this one feels like people who like Shazam really made it and made it
Mm-hmm.
for fans of Shazam, but also like
Yeah.
audiences who want to watch superhero movies. Like this one feels like the only DC movie that I'd actually feel okay with like a kid seeing, I think.
Right.
Like a really really young kid seeing because
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
going for the DC dark.
Yeah, it's not go for the usual DC dark that it goes to. No, it's really good. It's like just watching it yesterday. I was sitting there. I'm just like, wow, this is not that bad at all. I was sitting there. I was actually expecting a little bit of the usual DC darkness, a little bit of the you know
Action over
whatever.
story.
Right, yeah, pretty much. But it's got a really good, nice, easy flowing story. It's got good moments where it's got a little bit of comic relief. And it's got good action, right? You know, it's just all around a really really good movie in my opinion. I was sitting there, and obviously it's my first time viewing the movie, so it's obviously gonna be I just watched the movie. I didn't like eat with like popcorn or anything because when I eat with like popcorn, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, this movie's so good. And I'm sitting there drinking my water, and I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, this movie's it's pretty okay so far. But so I feel like my opinion is just a little bit biased about this movie, but I can't say for sure until I watch it a second time, and you guys won't know when I watch it a second time how I'm gonna feel about it unless we do we like review a podcast sometime. We'll just be like, all right, we're gonna be reviewing our Shazam podcast. We're gonna be reviewing our Gretel and Hansel podcast, which will never be reviewed ever again. Also, hold on here a second.
That's fine. Uh, it's a ghost. Uh,
It's a ghost.
so what is it? Something that really I'm trying to think of what I had it in my head and then I saw the door open and I was like, it's
Yeah,
haunted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry
Uh,
about that.
the thing that really hits me about this movie is that I can't think of it. The acting is overall really great. Zachary Levi really makes it feel like he's a kid with all of his antics and
Yeah,
stuff. I think that really adds to the movie and his performance overall.
yeah,
But what else was there? There was some other points I wanted to talk about. I need to write my stuff down. I used to write down them for the
yeah, yeah.
podcast on some of the other episodes. I just need to write it
Mm.
down. But what is it, man? Do you have anything you want to talk about while I try to remember what I wanted to?
Try to jog your memory.
Yeah.
Uh, honestly, I've said pretty much everything that I've got to say about this movie. The different sets are unique. They're in the city at a small apartment complex where the mom's at. They have the fucking the mall Santa fucking who's at the pier. It's like everybody or it's like, oh fuck, everybody run or some shit like that.
Uh,
He was everywhere, and that was pretty funny comic relief. But they had the like I was saying, apartment complex in the middle of the city. They were at like an industrial factory, an abandoned one, and they're just like the set design, on the movies, like look at their, they have the scene where they got up all those stairs that it's like I don't know why Rocky just wanted to climb up these stairs or whatever. It's like Shazam said there, something like that. Something like that. I'm sure it wasn't exactly that, but just all the different settings and sets and places and stuff. It's really unique. It keeps it fresh. The only thing that was reused, in my opinion, obviously, the home's gonna be reused and stuff, but like the fucking Gentleman's Club, that was a good reuse where they fucking just think of a place that just think of a place where we can go, and then he's just sitting there thinking, and the shot comes in, they disappear, then you see the fucking Gentleman's Club, you're like, of course.
of course.
As they're walking out, why can't I see anything in there? Because you're
Yeah.
not old enough.
I have I remember what I was wanting to talk about. This movie kind of sets itself apart. by introducing the villain before the actual character. Because the first
Oh
scene
yeah,
in the whole
that was
movie
really
is
interesting. Yeah.
the first scene in the whole movie is of Doctor Savannah as a young kid with a magic 8 ball. Which
Hmm.
actually, if you look, the magic 8 ball, that little blue area, is supposed to represent his eye. Also,
Mm.
um, and you can kind of see that when I think it fades to his eye at one point. Uh,
Mm.
but this movie starts out with introducing the villain before the main character
Yeah.
because the story is kind of shared between Doctor Savannah and the and
Hmm.
uh, the Billy Batson. That's who it is. I need to
Yeah.
remember names better. Uh, it's shared between them,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool because you get to see what made this villain a villain
A villain.
is
Hmm.
his family didn't treat him right. The dad actually kind of makes the older brother kind of pushes him to make fun of the kid because he's different. He likes the magic 8 ball. He's like a
Mm.
nerd. So the dad
That
kind of
the one the scene. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the one scene where the guy the doctor's in the board of executives and it's only just the dad left. He's in and the dad's in there like somebody help me. He's like, oh come on, don't scream for somebody else. Just like the dad said or whatever. You
Yeah,
can't have somebody else to fight your problems. Honestly, that was just like I'm like this guy's dead, bro. And he retrieves all of the sense besides greed. And as he's leaving, he's like, "All right, Greed, have him." And so there, I'm like, goodbye, man. You're just dead."
yeah. I really that board scene really shows how it's the only scene that you really get to see really a dark side of him. Other than that, he's just trying to obtain power the rest of
Yeah.
the movie. But that's the only scene where he kind of shows his
Hmm.
dark side. Um, except maybe you could debate whether, uh, like having the kids as a hostage in their own house could possibly be a dark side of him. But he doesn't really do anything to them, so he doesn't
Yeah.
like hurt
He's
them or
only just
anything.
like scaring them.
He's just standing there waiting for Billy to come home. Um,
Hmm.
but it's an interesting story to tell where they're both they both have family related problems. The hero has his mom who doesn't really love him left him, and he's trying to search for his mom the whole movie, and then finds out his family has
Yep.
been with him the entire time. While the other for the villain, the family problem is they don't really like him. They don't really love him. They think he's different, and because he's different,
Mm.
they treat him differently. They treat him poorly, um, which these characters are really,
Similar
really similar but different in the ways
at the
they
same
try
time.
to solve their problems.
Yeah.
Billy doesn't care about power. Billy doesn't really
Hmm.
care about power. Doctor Savannah wants power to basically show his dad that he can do stuff himself,
Yeah.
which getting power from a bunch of demons isn't really that great because it's
No, not
technically
really.
not his power anyways, because once all the seven deadly sins are out of him, he's left as like his
A
normal
feeble
self.
old man.
Yeah, he's left
Mm.
useless. But the two characters, that's one thing I really like is the writers in this movie. Like they put so many different themes in, but then also made them relate to both of the characters. So
Hmm.
it seems really well written, but it also touches on what could go bad with your family and how uh, trying to find this power or trying to show them up isn't really gonna work for you. But also like
Mm.
maybe what you've been looking for your entire life is what you have. You just
Yeah.
not noticing it. Um, yeah, it's a
Mm.
lot of deep topics for a pretty
Mm.
lighthearted DC movie.
Yeah, right. If you really just dig deep into it, you can find those deep paths and what was going on. I remember the scene where they were fighting or whatever. He's just like I'm just like you. I was. They just went about their different ways on how to solve it, like you
Yeah.
said. Mm.
Uh, Now let's try to think. What is the theme of Batman v Superman? Oh yeah, Martha. They both have moms named Martha. I guess.
Martha.
I
Yep.
guess the theme is you got a mom named the same name as your mom.
All
They
right.
should kill each
That
other
means you guys gotta work together and then kill each other and then work together again.
and then try to bring him back to life in the next movie. Uh, yeah, there's not really a theme in Batman v Superman. I don't believe
No.
there is. But this one has some. This one has multiple themes that
Yeah.
that are easy to tell. What one of the themes is really easy to tell, like the whole family. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, and kind of like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of brings the superhero feeling back into it because the superheroes are meant to teach lessons.
All right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm.
Quoted all the time because it's pretty true. Uh,
Right.
you don't want to use your power for bad. You want to use it for good, and you want to use it in a way that helps people rather than hurts people.
Yeah.
Uh, one of my favorite scenes, I think, out of the whole movie is actually the mall scene. I don't think we've touched on that too much. Is where
No.
after he saves the bus on accident, which I like how he tries to save it first. He lays the mattress down underneath
The
it.
mattress down.
He lays it
Yeah.
down on the ground. It's just like, you're good.
The guy in the window's like,
No, no. And
no.
he's like, what? And then
He's got to catch the bus.
yeah,
And then
I
the
love
fucking
that.
dog that's just sitting there.
That seems like such a kid thing to do. Is like, okay, laziest way to solve a problem. Oh, maybe this will work. Maybe this.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I like that scene. But right after it, then you find out after they do like a weird little interview, and then Freddy talks to Billy as Shazam. They talk about how you caused that problem, and heroes don't cause problems and then try to fix their own problems, which is what he was doing.
Mm.
They try to fix other people's problems with no real reason or no like payment for it. They
Yeah, it's
just
just
do
like
it.
an instinct. Yeah.
Yeah. And then comes the Dr. Savannah, all powerful,
Yeah.
flying through the air. And
Yeah,
then
just slowly levitates down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, another thing, I real quick, I'm gonna go off topic from what I was. I'll come back to it. Um, the thing about Man of Steel, you were talking all about Man of Steel, is that
Mm.
at the end of the movie, Superman does something that Superman probably wouldn't do. Is he breaks Zod's neck?
Oh, my Discord just lagged there. What'd you say?
Okay, they're gonna hear it in the podcast twice. Superman does something he wouldn't usually do, and it's break Zod's neck, basically kills Zod.
Oh, yeah.
Superman probably wouldn't do that. Superman would try to find another way to solve the problem before that. He would probably try to
Right.
throw him or try to get him away from that. But yeah, that kind of doesn't feel like something Superman would do in that movie. But in this movie, it feels like Shazam would do this because it's a kid. He won't think about the greater good all the time. He'll think about himself. He'll be more selfish than think about other people, which is kind of how Shazam is in the comics. He's always thinking about himself. And even at the end, when they roll the credits, you kind of see that they're using their powers like to show off, kind of. Like Darla uses her speed to like show the Flash that she's
Flash.
faster and better. Uh,
Yeah.
Shazam uses his power and like tries to get Wonder Woman and takes her to prom. They also use Batman. They connect all these characters because
Batmobile. Mm.
yeah, because they're selfish, which is
Yeah.
just what kids kind of are sometimes. Is they don't think about others before themselves, which
Yeah.
is what Shazam does most of the movie. Is he's always thinking about what's going to get me more views. Freddy also helps in this, like Freddy's
Yeah.
videotaping it and posting these videos, and then what can get me more likes and views rather than helping or actually using my power for something good, which is
Yeah.
also talked about around the table during one of the dinner scene where they kind of fight each other. Is
Mm,
yeah, okay, he's like charging phones and doing all this like cool stuff. Why isn't he using this to actually help?
mm, yeah.
So that's my rant. Kids are selfish.
Yep.
Which, yeah, I do not think. I do not think Billy is all that pure of heart. Just I feel like
Oh, yeah.
the wizard just needed someone, and he's just like
Yeah, Wizard
Billy will
was like
work.
going. He's like, man, he's got some good in him. Let's give it to him.
He beat up
I was,
those bullies.
I
He's
was,
good.
yeah, I was in there. Like, there's plenty of more candidates, but he's just like, dude, I'm about to go. He's like, here you go. You did that one good act. Obviously, you want somebody who, who just constantly does good acts like that, right?
Hmm.
And that's not always thinking about themselves, because that's like, that time, Billy was in there. Billy to himself is just like, he's now my actual brother. He's my foster brother. I don't have to protect him. I don't have to help him. But then he was just in there, and then fucking he comes in with his friend's fucking little walking uh I don't know what you call
A
that,
walking
like
stick. It's like a
stilt, like a
crutch.
walking stilt,
Crutch.
right? Yeah, crutch, and just fucking beats him, and then fucking runs away, gets on a subway, fucking, all right, see you later, bullies, and it's fucking just sitting on the subway. I'm just like, then
You're kind of lagging now.
after still cops car and his steak, he is now worthy.
Yeah.
He is now worthy because he didn't have to do that, but he did it, and I'm about to die, so I'm gonna give him my power.
Well, it's also at that
Hopefully, this is the right choice.
in that period of time. It's also the seven deadly sins have escaped already. He's just like, I need to
Yeah,
find
right.
someone quick. Oh, this kid looks like he might be worthy. Even though he
Look,
does
that
break
kid.
into like a cop's car multiple times, he does stuff that doesn't seem
Yeah.
like. He goes to the strip club, which is technically lust. He just
Mm,
he also
yeah.
steals. He takes that money from the woman, kind of. That could be
Mm,
considered stealing. He
the
does,
ATM.
yeah. He lies. He does all these things. He doesn't seem pure of
Bought
heart,
like an
but
Xbox One with like a big ass TV. I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, where'd you get the
yeah.
money for that? I was sitting there, it's like, I'm like, oh gosh, the old man was just like, all right, here you go, take my power.
It's just
I cannot find anybody else, and I am tired of looking.
he's just like, I've been here long enough, man. I just need to
Just
get out.
let's just go.
Uh, yeah, but that's one thing I was thinking throughout the movie. I was like, he doesn't seem very pure of heart, but who am I to judge, really? Uh,
Right.
what else is there? In that mall scene again. Let me come back to that after my little tangent again. Um, in the mall scene, you kind of see finally that he is kind of defeatable. He kind of like he's kind of broken, and after fighting Savannah, and he goes home and he's like limping with a bloody nose, and it looks like he came out of like a really rough fight.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of see that Shazam isn't like invulnerable to everything. He can be broken. He can be hurt, which
Mm-hmm.
is Superman. We don't really see that too often, except we know that
Mm-hmm.
kryptonite can hurt him. But and then you don't see that really with Batman ever because he's super smart. You don't see it with a lot of other
Mm-hmm.
people. But for some reason, giving Shazam this all powerful, he's almost like the equivalent to Superman, like a weakness, or like in showing that weakness. Like he's also got a weakness with his family, which is always discussed in the comics. Is like his family will get captured, and then he'll have to try to make a good, smart decision to try to help them, but also help himself and try to help the other people. So he
Mm-hmm.
always makes like that smart decision, which gives me a callback to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like when he's saving, in the first one, he gets that pick between, okay, you can pick your little girlfriend, or you can pick the students on
The
the,
bus full of children.
yeah, like a bus full of children, and he goes for the girl first, but he knows that he can save the children at the same time her by getting Mary
Mm.
Jane first, but then saving them. So he's thinking it through, thinking of what's the best way to go about this to save as much people
Mm-hmm.
as I can, which is like
Mm-hmm.
which is ethics basically. If we want to go into
Yeah.
ethics,
Mm. Yeah. you know, I don't think Shazam could obviously when he's going, he's going a little further on in his little superhero career, superhero life that he's doing. I think he would start to learn a little bit better about, what's the best course of action to take. Can I say both? If I can't, I need to make a decision now, or I'm not going to save either. But Spider-Man was like the whole thing with him is just like super. There's super smart kid gets Spider-Man powers. Just pretty much it's just brains combined with brawn. Kind of like Tony Stark, right? I can't really think of a superhero that just yeah, the Hulk, too mad to think, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, more recent Marvel movies, he's able to control it better. So obviously, with his you know very very developed, really really smart man. He's got he's got the brains to figure it out, right? But
yeah,
I don't think he could do that back then. But the more recent Marvel movies, he definitely could. But
yeah.
yeah, I you know what I thought was bullshit though, like in
What?
that mall scene when he gets like knocked down and this is the ending of the mall scene. Fucking he's the guy's about to do whatever to him and he's like Shazam. I was thinking like, why would you transform right in front? And the guy didn't see it. I was like bullshit. Bullshit, he didn't see it and then just grabbed the fucking kid.
Well, the
But then,
lightning.
Freddy's just walking around looking for Billy.
Well, when he says Shazam, it's also supposed to like blind people, which is it doesn't make too much
Oh, is it?
sense. Yeah, which is what happens to him because they're so close together. He says Shazam, lightning comes down and like blinds them, which is what's supposed to happen, but that's not really touched on in the
Right.
movie too
Yeah, at
much,
all.
except at that one point. They're like, they do what J.K. Rowling does. Is like, okay, so this magical sorting hat you can pull a sword out of it now, or like you can this thing that had this power also works with this. So they kind of do
Mhm.
that J.K. Rowling thing where like when it's necessary they'll use it, but they won't touch on it at any other point. Um, like I think also like even when he does it in the bathroom and scares that person after he doesn't know how to take off the suit to go to the bathroom, and then he goes
Shazam.
Shazam and the guy runs out. Um, that's not really touched on there. He also says Shazam in the house in front of Darla and then in front of Freddy as well, and they don't get blinded at all. But the only time you
Right.
ever see
Yeah,
anyone
exactly.
blinded is Dr. Savannah, which doesn't make too
Right.
much sense because it's not touched on.
Yeah, at all. Like, everybody else is just immune to Shazam's light, right? I guess only the evil can't see him,
Only the one with the
because,
magic marble in his eye.
superhero logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All around, just a really, really good movie. I mean, I got nothing else to say about this movie. That's just pretty good. I'm ready for my rating unless you got something else to cover.
I'm not sure. Well, this is a special episode, so I think I don't know what to talk about anymore. So it's a bonus
Mm.
episode for you
Yeah.
guys. I'll go ahead and rate it. I think. Or do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, okay.
You go ahead and
All right,
rate it. I
you
gotta
can go ahead.
announce. I
All right.
do your rating and then do your recommendation, and then I'll do
Okay.
the rating and then I'll say what the movie is gonna be this Sunday. Okay, that sound
Okay.
good?
Yeah, yeah. So my rating for this movie is probably going to be a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think it was really good. Actually, I'll go ahead and give it the 9 out of 10. I was sitting there just like I was like, yeah, 8.5, 9. It's a 9 out of 10. The the dialogue was spotty, but the flow of the movie was good. Scenes were all set up nice. Costume was great. Costume directors was great. Just you know, it's got a good unique introduction where it does the evil guy first, and it's awesome learning about his backstory and what he's done, what he did, and just sitting there looking through all that, you're just like, wow, this it's not bad. You know it's different, but it's good. It works, right? It's just a dialogue spotty, and they couldn't shell just a couple more dollars for Henry Cavill at the end, or couldn't have put his face on the guy. Couldn't have gotten a muscle bodysuit or something. Obviously, it's not gonna be exactly like Henry Cavill's his body, but it's gonna at least show that you put forth some effort, right?
Okay.
So yeah, my rating for this movie is a 9 out of 10. My recommendation for this movie is oh shoot, I have to look it up because I can't remember. I
Okay.
saw it on Vudu yesterday though, and I'm just like, ooh, that looks good.
While you're looking it up, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating because it's pretty
Okay.
similar to yours. I'd give it a 9 because I really enjoy
Mm.
this movie. I think it's one of the better, more recent DC movies. I even like it more than Wonder Woman because I think Wonder Woman's pacing is a little slow. Uh, and then I don't like the CG or the special effects in Aquaman because sometimes I think they're absolutely terrible. Because it looks like
Mm.
someone made a painting and then they're like, okay, let's put this on the green screen. Or it just some of the effects in that movie is just absolutely horrible. Even though sometimes the story is really good. Um, so I'm gonna give it a 9. I rarely give movies a 10. There's one thing holding me from doing it, giving it a perfect 10, and that's the jokes, but also the dialogue because the
Yeah.
dialogue and jokes kind of coincide with each other. But I think the jokes in this movie have aged terribly, even over the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This came out in
Absolutely.
May, April or May of 2019, and it's insane to think that this movie that was made 2 years ago, the jokes in it haven't aged that well, and that's crazy to think. Over the past 2 years, it just hasn't aged well. Yeah, like especially that flossing joke. That's not funny. It was cringeworthy. It made me cringe. It made me kind of throw up in my mouth. Uh, and then the whole storyline with the getting views on YouTube and stuff. They hit on it too much.
Yeah, that was
It's similar to,
yeah,
have you
definitely.
seen Michael Reeves' video about him joining their little club with Pokimane and stuff. I forget the
Offline TV house.
offline TV. His video, it
Mm.
was very similar to the like, do you believe in miracles? And then it's just his video just getting so many views and stuff. It's just like money, 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 and then that's what it is exactly, like to a T. It's Michael
Pretty
Reeves' video
much.
about him joining offline TV, and it's just so egocentric,
Yeah.
which kind of adds to the selfishness of the like characters because they're kids and stuff. But I believe that that's touched on too much. It's like a major focus in the movie for some reason. But a lot of movies
Yeah.
have been doing that recently. I don't like it. That's really the main thing I really don't like is the whole storyline about them getting views and stuff because I tend to dislike that in a
Mm.
movie because I don't know. Even
I
though,
under, I, under, I understand that like Freddy's like a fanboy and stuff and wants to wants to have superpowers like Superman wants to be like Batman or whatever. But
yeah,
you know I don't think the fanboy would go as far as to being like just all over Billy and like just and maybe I'm wrong because I can't really I'm not like not like a super fanboy like I don't really have a immediate like favorite superhero like it would obviously it would be different if like there were actual like superheroes, right? Like like do you know what My Hero Academia is?
yeah, yeah, I do. I haven't seen it,
Yeah,
but
anime.
I've heard of it. So
Yeah. So there's the beginning, like the first episode beginning scene. They're just like, that stuff that you see in comic books. Well, that's our reality. 80% of our population all have like some kind of superpower. And, it's called a quirk, but quirk, put in parentheses superpower. Something that they got, right?
hmm,
So obviously I wouldn't know until like if somebody ever gets like develops like a superpower or they you know, like we get a real life Iron Man or something like that. Obviously I can't say for sure unless something like that would happen because we don't really got anything like that. I'm just not super fanboyish. Like, whenever like a new like Batman movie comes out or something, I'm just like, oh, I gotta go see it. I love Batman, right? You know, if my brother offers me like, hey, I'm gonna go see Batman. You want to come see it with me? I'll just be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And just go see it and be like, yeah, it was good. I know there's a ton of people out there that are like super fanboys. Like they have their room decorated in the like Superman slash Batman, memorabilia or Shazam memorabilia. I haven't seen a Shazam one yet,
I
but I'm sure there's
haven't,
one.
so
I'm sure there's a couple out there. I'll
I
have
think
to
I've
look
seen
that up on
T-shirts,
Google
but I
then.
haven't seen any actual like pictures or anything. Maybe someone has a poster, but
Right.
uh, which is kind of insane. I really like this movie. I give it a 9. You gave it a 9. Go
Yep.
watch it. Usual. Let's use our usual phrase of movies are subjective. Only you can
Right.
really review it for yourself. So go ahead and watch this movie and go ahead comment down
See
below if
whether you
you
like it or not.
comment down below your score out of 9 out of 1 9 to 10. Only you can either do
Mm.
9 or 10. No, out of 1 through
That's all
10.
you get.
Out of 1 through 10.
Mm.
Go ahead, comment your review of it, and why you like it, why you dislike it. Just
Mm.
go ahead,
Yep.
tell us what your thoughts are. We enjoy reading the comments, or I enjoy reading the comments. I don't know about Austin. Austin may hate every one
I
of you.
I look at the comments sometimes.
Don't listen to him. He probably hates every one of you. But uh,
He's right. No.
I just use you for views. No,
For
just
sure. For sure, give us your thoughts. I'd like to see if anybody else agrees with our it's got spotty dialogue or when whatever else it's got going on, right? Or
yeah,
you just sit there and you're like, I absolutely love the movie, 10 out of 10. You saw nothing wrong with it, because obviously everybody's opinions are gonna differ, on different topics, right? So
yeah,
just leave it down in the comments and give us your rating. Tell us what you thought was bad about the movie, what was good about the movie. Give us some movie recommendations, what you want to see next,
yeah.
if you have any.
Speaking of recommendations, let's go ahead and get into recommendations. You go ahead and start, and then I'll tell.
Yes. My movie recommendation was is gonna be Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Have you seen that yet? Or
No, I haven't.
have you seen any of the Bill and Ted movies?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we need to do
Should
the
I see the other
franchise.
ones first or this one?
Yeah, definitely. Bill and Ted
Need to do
Face
a
the
whole
Music. If
franchise.
you watch that one alone, it will make no sense whatsoever. So we might have to do like a movie commentary over the first two, and then review then do a podcast over
Right,
Face
right,
the
right.
Music. I think that'd be fun. My or what I'm gonna recommend is actually I'm not gonna recommend anything because I'm more so gonna tell you what we're doing a podcast over on
Yep.
Sunday, which is kind of my recommendation. But also I'm gonna tell you the future podcast because we release at least one podcast a week. This is a special episode, so in honor of St. Patrick's Day or whatever. Even though we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day by doing a debatable Christmas movie, even though it focuses around family and Christmas, we're gonna talk about on this Sunday. We're going back. We're gonna be live on Twitch. We're talking about the anime. I want to eat your pancreas.
Sounds weird, but I'm sure it's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be enjoyable. I know that because Ty freaks out about it every time I talk to him about it. So it'll be
I'll
an
eat your
enjoyable
pancreas.
one. Also, the following week we're gonna hit on our first musical. I don't know if
First musical.
Austin's knows about this, but maybe this will be his first time.
No.
I've talked to Ty about it, and I've showed him the thumbnail. I've already made a thumbnail for it.
Oh
It's gonna
gosh.
be Shrek the Musical on
Oh
Netflix.
gosh.
I know it's gonna be a fun one also. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Make sure to watch us live on Twitch and join in the fun. We have a chat on our videos for like when we make them off of Twitch, where you can say hi to YouTube. You can say hi to your future self if you want to watch it on YouTube and watch
That's
it on
right.
Twitch. You can say hi to yourself. You can say hi to anyone viewing the episode. So make sure to join us live. And sadly, we don't have Ty here, so I can't end the episodes by saying "say bye, Ty," and then he
Say bye,
unenthusiastically
Ty.
says bye.
Bye.
But let's go ahead and end the episode by saying, I don't know.
You want me to give you a German outro? Choose.
Maybe we should just end the
Wait,
video by saying, I
let me.
don't know. I don't know. Saying,
So we could do the critical. So yeah, that's pretty much it. See you.
okay, that's pretty much it.